Hey everybody, I'm Caleb Arnold, also known as C-Leb from the band C-Leb in the Kettle Black and co-founder of Gigaton. Today we are going to talk about the ability to loop a single sample inside of one of your pads in your pad banks. One of the things I want to be able to do is just tee off a loop and have it loop infinitely until I change it to another loop. This is for filler, this is sometimes just as a backing. I like to use this specific feature over on the pad bank because that separates that from our sequences, and now I've got two different versions of what I can run. It also can be used as a sequencer on this side if you can time things correctly. So you just hit one loop and then you can hit another loop. I can show you how to do multiple of those in another video, but for now we're just going to focus on being able to turn on one pad in an infinite loop, and then we're going to stop it with another pad. And I'll show you why that's true here in just a little bit. I think it's important to understand that I'm also running firmware version 2.13. This works up to, I believe, 2.15. I've had newer versions installed, but I'm currently running in an older version on purpose. So if we go back to our main menu, I've already got some samples loaded up here. What I'm going to do is we're going to load a sample into one of our pad banks here, and let's go down to one that I really like. So let's use this Isaac Hayes breakthrough sample. I'm going to load it into pad bank 1 here, and let's go back to our main menu and see what happens when we hit it. So it plays, but what's going to happen is it's probably going to play all the way through and then not loop at the end. It's going to stop. So let's listen and see what happens. Okay, yep, it stopped at the end. What we want it to do is continuously loop. The first thing we're going to do is go into our edit samples over here, and we're just going to hit this one time. I've already got this trimmed up so that this will loop correctly. If you need to do any editing, you're going to want to be able to trim this up so that it loops infinitely, however you need it to work, but just know that this is already trimmed. Okay, we'll come back over into our main menu, and we will go into our menu, program edit, and we are going to change our layer play to cycle and our sample play to note on, and our mute group to 1. The reason we're changing our mute group is we will now be able to start this and it will loop infinitely, but we will not be able to stop it. And I'll show you the final hack piece to why this is true. So if we come back to our main menu, the transpose is by default on off. So if we hit it, we're only going to get exactly what we programmed it to, which is cycle and note on, which means when we hit it, we have to hold it down in order to make it work. What we want this to do is loop infinitely. So we turn our transpose to 1 or any other setting other than off, and now our sample will loop infinitely inside of just this single pad. So let's keep listening. And there we are. This will loop infinitely. Unfortunately, because of that, we can't stop it anyway unless we double tap stop on our transport. But what we want to do is be able to just stop it, because what if we have sequences going on over here? We want this separate from our transport. So what we have to do is we come back into our main menu setting, into the program edit, same place that we were at in order to be able to set our cycle and note on. And we're going to choose a different pad, and we're going to set the mute group to the same mute group, to 1. So you'll notice now we have a mute group 1 with nothing in it. It's a blank pad. And when we have our main sample that's happening also in the same mute group, what this does is it tells our sample to then switch to this sample and stops the sample altogether. So the loop ends whenever we choose a new loop that has nothing in it. It's basically how that works. If you want to differentiate what the colors are, you can go into your pad colors here. So then we'll change this one to green and this one to red. And now when we come back, we know that green is our sample and red is our stop. Okay, hopefully that helps you better understand how to be able to loop single pads inside of your MPC. Thanks everybody.